I gotta be honest, this is god-awful. Hey everybody, welcome to a very important video, the most long-awaited video of my YouTube career. Yet another of the most hotly anticipated and debated videos I've ever produced. By far the most important video I will ever make in my entire life. Another of the most long-awaited videos I've ever recorded. Without a doubt, the most hotly anticipated video I have ever made for my YouTube channel. Yet another, the most hotly anticipated videos I've ever made. This is what you've been waiting for. This is what the last 10 years have led us to. Home stereo? This is motivated by selfish reasons, but first off, if you got this home stereo, I hope you accept that this belongs in the god-awful tier. But even like a nice home stereo, forgive me for what I'm about to say. I lived forever in shared accommodations, multiple people under the same roof, apartment complexes where you're next to your neighbors. These things are the bane of your existence. There's only, like, the number of noise complaints I've had in my life against other apartments, 99.9% caused by home stereo subwoofers. Literally 0.1% after the Raptors won the championship last year. My neighbors across the hall from me got addicted to playing basketball inside on their hardwood in this, like, all of our units were like 500 square feet and with only like 6 foot ceiling. Well, not 6, that's insane, but like 7 or 8 feet tall ceilings. I don't know what they were doing in there, but they were just all day going dunk, 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 dunk. But apart from that, it's all home stereos. So for me, it's like, if you're an appreciator of music, sure. And if you live separated from people, like with space between your houses, and you don't listen so loudly that it causes disturbances, no problem. Or you listen and it's loud and other people can hear it, but it's in reasonable time frames. I'm not like a bad neighbor. I don't look for reasons to get upset. It's only like after 1 a.m. and prior to like 8 a.m. when this thing's loud. I hate it. But otherwise, like for me, I'll just listen to music on headphones. I'll listen to it coming out of my phone speaker. You know, if I want to hear it out loud, I'll put it on the TV. It's not great, but it's, you know, it gets the job done. Regular Cheerios. Honestly, I put them in the C tier. I wish I liked them more because they really are like this is a cereal that is not that bad for you. But I find, and maybe this is where the milk would really help out, but without the milk, this is like, it's too much like eating just grain. Like, I know all of these are just grain and sugar in different components, but like this is genuinely just like, it's like it hasn't even been processed. It's like it, honestly, this skipped a spot at the factory is all I'm saying. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think I do this with a heavy heart, but for me, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a D tier Marvel movie. I want to add some caveats, okay? I like Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Pena, Walton Goggins is in this movie. I wanted to like it an awful lot. But it just kind of feels, and to be fair, it had a weird release because it came out after Infinity War. So Infinity War has that, you know, jaw-dropping moment at the end of it, at the time at least. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp is like, here's a little one-off adventure in San Francisco. So I think it suffered a little bit from that. It's not to say there's not things to like about this movie, but for me, like in the last like 3 or 4 years of Marvel movies, this is probably my least favorite. Even though I still think it's okay. That's how I feel about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantum Realm stuff is cool though. I'm glad they did bring more of that back. I gotta be honest, originally I was gonna put this Blastoise, you know, the Mega Blastoise into the little bad tier, but is that a vape? Does my man have a vape on the back of him? Or is it a 35 millimeter artillery from like the First World War? I gotta be honest, this is god awful. This is an abomination. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this man is. We're gonna be causing all sorts of problems in today's episodes. I have very peculiar tastes, perhaps. I do not like squash at all. I don't like squash. I don't like gourds. I don't like pumpkins. I know you're like, what about spaghetti squash? I just don't. I mean, I'll eat it. I'll eat anything. I have peculiar tastes, but also I am just a trash compactor. I'll eat. I'm an organic reactor. I'll eat anything. It's just a matter of how much this thing up here enjoys it while it's happening. I'm not a squash man. Okay, like, so I mean, it's kind of rude, but I feel like geography is kind of like an F tier, but I think it's mostly because I don't understand. Mr. Mime is just an affront to all that is holy. This is one of the Pokemon. You cannot convince me this Pokemon was in the game until there were like 147 Pokemon. This is a Pokemon that had to be added at the last minute, or I don't respect it. These are cranberries. These are not radishes. Cranberries, I'm going to go ahead and put it in little bad. I do not buy them, really. I like cranberry juice. I really do. But I don't buy cranberries themselves. Nor I don't really like cranberry sauce either. So there's no... To be honest, I think I might even put it down there. It is, I will admit, it's a victim of balance right now. But at the same time, I don't really... I've never purchased these, and I only like one thing that they make. A grocery store cake. This is where my snobbiness is gonna come to effect, okay? That's god-awful as far as I'm concerned. I know that maybe I'm the wrong guy to critique this, okay? Because for one, I don't even like cake to begin with. If we're talking about a dessert situation, I would much rather have, I don't know, like... I'm trying to think. I don't eat that much dessert, to be honest with you. I just don't have that much of a sweet tooth, okay? I always prefer like a square, you know? Like a square or something, or a peanut butter-based dish, or... You get the idea, right? A gelato / ice cream / sorbet sort of thing. But I've eaten a lot of grocery store cakes in my life, as I'm sure everybody watching this video probably has. And typically, it depends on the grocery store, but typically they tend to not turn out that well. Also, who knows how long they've been sitting there. Plus, you're just buying a cake and you're like, you know, it just says happy birthday on it. You show up with that cake, you're like, I know you didn't call the store. This is just one of the generic happy birthday cakes. I'm not mad about it. I'm just, anyway, let's move on. We don't have that much time. Visual art. I've told this story before, but in Ontario, you have to take a credit in 9th grade in a creative art subject. At my school, you only had two choices. You had instrumental music and you had visual art, painting, drawing, sketching, etc., etc. The reason I was most excited to go to 9th grade was that I realized when I finished 8th grade, I would never have to do art ever again. I do respect it, and I am, if anything, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the people for whom art was a nice class where you enjoyed what you were doing and you got to produce work that you were proud of. 10 years of elementary school, from junior kindergarten to 8th grade, never excelled in art whatsoever. Honestly, just wish I was doing arithmetic more. So for me personally, art is like genuinely an F tier class. But, again, I respect that for some people out there, this is like A+ tier, A++ tier. And the other thing is, I've almost got to put this in like an I don't know category, because I genuinely have never been in an art class since 8th grade. So, I mean, maybe I don't know why I'm thinking of this exclusively like it's high school. I guess because chemistry I didn't, get into until like 9th grade. But anyway. Thor the Dark World. Here, raise your hand if you saw this coming. Not a very good movie. Is it better or worse than the first Thor? I think like they're neck and neck. These are both not particularly... I mean, Thor the Dark World, Thor, and The Incredible Hulk are like indisputably to me the worst movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Maybe like Iron Man 2 and 3. Like, I'm thinking I might need to rework some of these, because I'm like, there's not... I guess there are D-tier movies in the cinematic universe, but like, I think I'm leaving this too loaded in one particular direction. But Thor the Dark... I can't really think of much positive to say about it, to be honest with you. Just an ill-advised way to make a movie, I think. Kat Dennings is just annoying. I still sort of don't understand what's going on with the Aether. It's an Infinity Stone, but it's also like an aqueous fluid. The villain is just an angry elf. Like, this one is not for me. I kind of like Thor 1 a little bit more, to be honest, just because at least it takes that, like, Thor Shakespearean angle, and Kenneth Branagh, like, he leans into it 500%. But honestly, I thought that both of the first Thor movies are not particularly good. Sewing machine. My grandma would be very upset at where I place this, okay? The thing is, I don't make my own clothes or quilts. So, I have no reason for a sewing machine. I can sew a little. My wife can sew a little better than me. We will tailor our own clothes sometimes, you know, darn a sock or like maybe an elbow comes out on a shirt or something like that. We'll sew it up. You don't need a sewing machine for it. You just need a needle and thread. The sewing machine is really for like more bulk, I guess, if you got a larger project. So I don't think it's useless, but I think the number of times you're going to need to sew is pretty low for the average person, and the applications of those times are mostly going to be like just a little like yump, 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 you know? You're not going to need one of these where you go... I have used a sewing machine before. In 6th grade, we had to make hand puppets with paper mache heads and then put on a play we wrote ourselves. Did not like it. Anyway, but I'm not holding a grudge. Cocoa Puffs are Oops All Berries, but worse. I don't like chocolate-flavored cereals. Again, maybe this is something where, like, if you put milk into a chocolate-flavored cereal, or you put the chocolate-flavored cereal into the milk, you get chocolate milk, and it's awesome, and you love it. I don't like milk. I actually think chocolate milk is even worse. So I am going to put these in here, and Oops All Berries is coming up a little bit. A lamp. Don't tell my wife about this one. I think these are god-awful. We have light bulbs overhead. We got some, like, almost studio lighting, even though I don't have it set up very well. We got a good setup. We also have lamps, and the lamps are nice, but they're also, like, honestly, if you took them out of our place, I wouldn't notice probably for 6 months. In February, I'd be like, would you do something with that lamp? We got some nice lamps, don't get me wrong, they set the ambiance. But, you know, food, temperature, cleanliness, you know, water, pretty important. Ambiance is pretty low. And then these all have something to do with ambiance. Bagel Bites, this is not fair. It's going to cause me a lot of strife. I've had Bagel Bites once in my entire life. It coincided with either infectious disease or foodborne illness, and I threw up. I cannot look at Bagel Bites without feeling a little queasy. It's like 22 years later. I got to put these in the really bad tier. I mean, honestly, I'd even put them in god-awful. I will not consume them. And this is just, it's admittedly unique to me, okay? I apologize, but it's not for me. A home phone is just insanity. This is actually, like, worse than god-awful. If you are in control of the phone situation at your own house and you have a home phone, why, oh my God. It's not just worse because you can't carry it around. It's worse because it rings and you can't stop this from being an inadvertent alarm clock. Maybe you could turn the ringer off, but who remembers to turn the ringer off? Because if somebody's phoning you at like 4 a.m., you kind of want to pick up. But, you know, it goes to an answering. Like, it's just weird. The only reason I can see it that I'll allow here is, you know, I hear that, like, maybe if you're a little tight on funds, a home phone is insanely cheap to have set up, and a cell phone, of course, those plans tend to be a little bit more expensive. But a cell phone does more than just take calls, you know? It's like, what's funny is that this, to me, now, looks like a pager looked to me like 10 years ago, where I'm like, it only does this thing? It only takes calls? What's up with that? I can't even open this thing up to see how I'm being cyberbullied online? What's the point? Eggplant. I didn't have to look it up. I'm just keeping the list in a good place to be cross-referential. Eggplant. Don't at me. I don't like it. I just don't like it. If you like it, that's fine. If you're cooking it for me, I'll eat it. If you're making a baba ganoush, I'll dip it. But I do not enjoy an eggplant myself in any capacity. Ice, it's just god-awful, okay? There's one exception, all right? If you're throwing a party and you need a lot of ice, okay, buy the ice bags. If you're just buying ice, normally, what are you doing? I mean, I have an ice maker in my fridge. I don't even use it. I use it for iced coffee, like, every day. Fair enough. But, like, you could just get an ice cube tray and fill it up. That's 12 ice cubes. That's going to last you a decently long time, unless you're consuming a staggering amount of ice. I don't understand the value of this. Even without an ice maker, I never bought ice, unless I was going camping. Electrode, just absolutely, you know, be honest with you, I think Electrode is god-awful. It's the same Pokemon, plus it looks a little bit too much like cartoon depictions of my face. Incredible Hulk. I saw this in theaters, and it was like 2009, 2010. I took two friends of mine to the theater. I apologize to them. This has like everything bad about comic book movies wrapped into one. I love Ed Norton, but like it's not a horrible movie, but it's pretty bad. It's really bad compared to other MCU stuff. Like for real. There's a scene in this movie where he wears a heart rate monitor when he engages in lovemaking so that he doesn't get too excited and become the Hulk. That's like extreme edgecore aesthetics. Plus, the villain is literally just him, but a different, you know, kind of Hulk. Not very good. Also from a different era of movie making in the comic book world, where the Hulk could, you know, or even like the U.S. military could destroy like $100 million buildings to try to take down the Hulk, and you never ever hear about anything about it. They never face any repercussions. It's from a broader era. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't know what this is. I just see a pair of wings. I'm gonna say that that's god awful. Cornflakes. Okay, did you know cornflakes were invented to curb male masturbation?
What? Why?
They were invented by Bill Kellogg. And he wanted an appetite-suppressing food that made you unhorny. And I don't know how cornflakes became the go-to here, but it is true. Let me tell you, based on how the internet looks in 2021, it did not work.
Would you eat some more cornflakes?
She got me. She said you should eat some more cornflakes. Cornflakes. I don't respect them. It's pretty much where I'm at here. Like, why would you... Frosted Flakes are actually delicious. I think Frosted Flakes are one of the best cereal. Cornflakes have no purpose. And I also... like, all these other cereals, they come in the thin rectangular box. Cornflakes... do not, because nobody ever is like, I'm just going to get a little of them, right? They always come in a huge bulk box. You can only get them in like 4 kilogram boxes. Everything else you can get in like a 600 gram container. I will say, I like a cornflake as an ingredient. If you're gonna put it on the outside of like a breaded piece of meat in order to get like a nice crunch on it. Very good. But as a cereal, no. Get out of my face. Cornflakes. I don't respect them. It's pretty much where I'm at here. Like, why would you... Frosted Flakes are actually delicious. I think Frosted Flakes are one of the best cereal. Cornflakes have no purpose. And I also, like all these other cereals, they come in the thin rectangular box. Cornflakes do not, because nobody ever is like, I'm just going to get a little of them, right? They always come in a huge bulk box. You can only get them in like 4 kilogram boxes. Everything else you can get in like a 600-gram container. I will say, I like a cornflake as an ingredient. If you're gonna put it on the outside of like a breaded piece of meat in order to get like a nice crunch on it, very good. But as a cereal, no. Get out of my face. Cloyster is substantial. This is a god. I know we're filling up god awful a lot. We're getting into the back half of the Pokemon. It's a god awful Pokemon. You can't get one by me, Nintendo. I know what I'm looking at here, okay? Don't try to sneak that into my games. Ice climbers. What are you? You got to figure out what you do. Nana, Popo. You can desync them, I know, in order to make things more complicated. Look, why are you always trying to do this in games? Why are you trying to add Meepos and Invokers and, you don't have to do that. We could just have fun. We don't have to turn everything into a who's got a computer brain, who's reading the most spreadsheets and tips and tricks online, etc., etc. Fish sticks? I'm going to hit you with something, okay? I think fish sticks are god-awful. I had to make room for the fish sticks down here. Why are fish sticks god-awful? Chicken fingers, frozen, are just superior in every way. Oh, but I want fish. Then buy one of the frozen fish and chips. The fish sticks, they cook weird and they sort of like fall apart and, they don't have any structural integrity. You pick them up to dip them in the cocktail sauce and then you pull them back out and they're all like droopy, This is not a juvenile thing, necessarily. It's more just like, I think there's superior options. It's a tough one for me. I'll tell you, I'm giving Toon Link a little bit of a bonus, I think, over regular Link. And the reason is, I think Wind Waker as a game looks cool. I told you at the outset of this video there would be arbitrary reasons for things. If you gave me the choice between the art of Link and the art of Toon Link, which one would I like to see more often? I would like to see more of the art of Toon Link. I think it's more visually pleasing. Plus, he's dense, You might think, but he's not a heavy. True, but he's kind of like, he's a dense child. Are you Toon Link or Kid Link? Now you're Kid Link. You tried to trick me. Get out of here. You tried to trick me. Pumpkin. Ooh, that's bad. Nature didn't mess up too much, but everything in this genre, bulb plus stalk, not for me. Pumpkin pie, I don't like it that much, but it's by far my favorite kind of pumpkin. Pumpkin salad, pumpkin, pumpkin like tempura, it's not for me. Now, I have had a pumpkin spice latte. I had a sip of a pumpkin spice latte. I get it. I actually completely understand. In a drink, for whatever reason, I kind of like that pumpkin flavor. But as a food, not really. Kashi Goleen Crunch is a delicious cereal that is slightly better for you than your average breakfast cereal, but twice as expensive. Kashi Goleen Crunch, delicious. Although it will break your teeth as well. Kashi Goleen is actually the stuff that you put in a cage and then you put like a hamster in it. Like Kashi Goleen it smells like a pet rodent or like a farm, which is how it must be at least like kind of not that bad for you, but it tastes like eating just pure straw. It's not good. It smells, when you walk into a pet store and you're not near the aquariums that smell like, like water treatment. Kashi Goleen is, if you ever want to smell a pet store, buy some Kashi Goleen, rip open the box and put your head in it real quick. You'll be like, I'm back. Anyway, this is not a good cereal. And it pains me to do this because I love Kashi Goleen Crunch. I think Kashi Goleen Crunch is delicious. I do wish it wasn't $8 a box, but still. What on earth is this? This is Country Girls Make Do. Grocery store donuts. Again, why not? You having trouble finding a better donut shop than Safeway? Where do you live? Okay? That might be a little insulting. I apologize. But I never want 12 donuts. Sometimes I want a donut. If I want a donut, I don't want to get it from the grocery store. I'd get it from like a Krispy Kreme or a better place. Let's just call it like it is. All right, so this is Nidhogg. I don't even know like what you are. You're like a gopher or like a purple hamster or something. It's weird. You're really bad. If I might even say you're god awful. I'm sorry. Inevitably, we're gonna ruffle some people's feathers. But if you wanna do it like that, I think they're both god awful. I don't really get these Pokemon. I don't know what they're doing. Crab, you're not gonna love this, okay? I love the taste of crab. I never want to purchase a crab from the grocery store. It's a living creature, for one. And although I do consume meat, and I understand that this is a weird cognitive dissonance, I don't really want to kill an animal in my home. I don't know, maybe you can get them killed from the grocery store, but on top of that, it's very expensive. And I love crab and lobster. I don't eat them that much because they're pricey. But I don't want to buy them from a grocery store because I'm like, if I mess it up, I might as well have just gone to a restaurant. So I will never purchase a crab from the grocery store, in all likelihood. Soda? This is perhaps my hottest take, okay? I do not buy soda at the grocery store. It's bad for you. And I've consumed a lot of soda in my day, don't get me wrong. You consume it mindlessly. Again, I can't stress enough, it's terrible for you. It creates a bunch of recycling, recycling's not bad, but that's more work. And secondarily, why down here when like beer is up here? Well, I'm like, I at least see like a purpose to drinking beer, if that makes sense. You have a couple beers, you relax a little bit. Sure, maybe if you have a couple sodas, you relax a little bit, but it seems like, that's more psychological than, metabolic. I don't know. Maybe you're going to be mad at this. That's okay. I understand. I'm sorry to the Coca-Cola Corporation. I still consume your beverages from time to time. I just do not purchase soda for my home, okay? I believe this is Martinelli's non-alcoholic apple cider exclusively used on the tables of families at Thanksgiving. I don't really understand it. Jinx is an abomination. Please spare me the essay. I understand what Jinx was inspired by. It didn't turn out. This is perhaps the strangest of all Pokemon. Sugarcane. I have eaten sugarcane, but I gotta put this in the bad tier. And I'll tell you, you could probably guess I don't use much sugarcane in my cooking or, as ingredients for anything. This might be steeped in ignorance. The times I've had sugarcane has been when, like, someone in my life, like a teacher in elementary school, went to like Central America or the Caribbean and came back with a bunch of sugarcane and then sliced off some so we could eat it. And we go, it's a vegetable, but it's sweet. So I don't really understand the use of sugarcane, but I will admit that I am steeped in ignorance here. Can I tell you something? It's been a while. Let's stoke some controversy. I think raisins are god awful. I've eaten probably 10,000 raisins in my life, is my guess. All of them as a child for school lunches. You know what gets me about a raisin? I hate that the raisins come in cardboard boxes. I hate that when you try to get the raisins out of the package, 300 of them are stuck together at all times. Give me some fresh fruit, please. I'm sorry, Sunmaid. I'm sorry. Zubat. That's pretty much a god-awful Pokemon. And then there's like, what the heck is this? It's just the second Zubat. It's the same picture. You're in the god-awful tier down here. Beyond being useless, you're hard to catch, okay? And that's in Pokemon Go, if I see a Zubat, I won't even try to catch it. It's not even worth it. Sonic. I've made a lot of Sonic fans upset this year. First off, by saying I wouldn't see the movie under any circumstances because it was for children. Apparently, the movie was pretty good. What can I say? I own my own ignorance. And I love Jim Carrey. Well, when he's an actor. When he's a talking head, not so. We don't have to get into it. We did Sonic on one of the golden goblets, and I was just terrible at it, which is fair. I haven't played very much of it. I've played Sonic in Smash. I just don't get him. I just don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I just spend the whole time going, and then it fizzling out. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Welcome to the D tier. I'm sorry. A lowland Diglett, an affront to people suffering from male pattern baldness the world over. 3 Homer Simpson hairs at the top of his head. Are you kidding me? Life is one of the boring cereals, you know? I feel like if I have checks in the B tier, which I prefer, I gotta put this in the C tier. And then, I mean, Light Life, come on. Oh, it's cinnamon and regular? I'm still putting them here. Lucky Charms are... Look. The marshmallows are pretty good. Can I also hit you something weird? Overrated, maybe. The marshmallows are a little overrated because when you bite into them, they're like squeaky. You know, like they're weird, like styrofoam. But some of them, like, dude, the rainbows hit different. The rainbows are the best tasting marshmallow by far. And the other thing, when the marshmallows stale, they actually get a little better, which makes no sense. And that's very scary for me as an adult. When they get harder, they're actually more delicious, which is... Why don't they just make them stale? But anyway, the marshmallows are fine. The actual, like, flake part of it, or, I mean, they're not flakes, but you know what I mean. The wheat shapes, not good at all. Dry cat food. It doesn't, I don't think it's a particularly good cereal. Plus, there's like, I don't know if any other cereal suffers from this same problem where, you know, if I ever got a Lucky Charms, I would pour a bowl that was heavily marshmallow concentrated. And then I would pour another bowl like the next day that's heavily marshmallow concentrated. And then like the last 2 bowls have 1 marshmallow in them each. And you got to start doing the rations. Am I going to leave the marshmallow till the end? Am I going to eat it at the start? Am I going to save it for the exact middle? Dude, I got to be honest. I think I would rather have Life than Lucky Charms. I think I'd rather have Cheerios than Lucky Charms. At least, you know, you don't know what you're missing. I will accept no argument about this, okay? Raisin Bran is a bad cereal. Full stop. It's sour. I am okay with raisins. Raisins, like, I know that people have strong opinions on them. I'm okay with them. If they're in like a bun or a cookie or something like that, I've got no problem. When raisins are the best part of your food product, you're screwed. You're screwed. No other food opinion I have makes me feel more like I'm the only person making sense than my opinion on Raisin Bran. I don't see the appeal of it at all. When I eat Bran, I'm like, this tastes like it's horrible. It's like eating a piece of paper. And then the raisin, I'm like, it's okay. It's a little cloying, but they require milk. Look, you're probably right that they require milk. I also require going to the bathroom. I gotta be honest, I think it's god-awful. It's the same Pokemon, it's just taller. I don't respect when the evolutions just get taller. It's not, well, okay, I do in this case with Arcanine and Growlithe, but, you know. A broken watch is right twice a day. Or something. Anyway, like, what are you? You just got a TV for a stomach. Raisin Bran. Raisin Bran. We could talk about this for half an hour if you want. It's not good. Fundamentally, I don't have to make a logical argument because my brain and tongue make it for me when I eat it. It's bad. You need milk? Okay, that's fine. Then the cereal is bad and milk is good. Hypothetically, let's assume we have two products and one of them on its own can be consumed and enjoyed by millions of Americans every single day. And for rhetoric's sake, the other product, when poured in a bowl and eaten with a spoon, is not delicious. But when you combine the thing that's bad with the thing that tastes good, it turns out the thing that tastes bad all of a sudden tastes good now. Now, if we're speaking in the hypothetical, let's make that more practical. Wouldn't that mean that the bad thing is good exclusively because of the addition of the good thing to the bad thing? Anyway, I just don't like the way it tastes. It's basically what I'm saying. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll try some Raisin Bran with milk, but that's going to require me to go out and buy a cereal I don't like, which seems like a... You know, for science, maybe I'll consider it. We do have oat milk in the house. Rice Krispies are bad. A Rice Krispie treat, a Rice Krispie square, delicious. The texture quality of a Rice Krispie is fine. But the cereal, like the flavor of a Rice Krispie is bad. This is a cereal that really feels like it should have evolved to stay relevant past like 1922. Isn't this just like rice, heat, salt, and sugar? Like, I get that there's Cocoa Krispies, which by the way I have not had, as you can see. However, Rice Krispies, it seems like Rice Krispies and Cheerios were like best friends in 1922 when they were both invented. And then Cheerios were like, check it out, I got honey and nuts now. Rice Krispies were like, bro, you sold out. You sold out. You used to be cool, man. You used to succeed just by the power of your ingredients. And now you're putting all this syrup on it, and it's like you're putting a little nut into the oat. I don't need to do that, man. You sold out. You changed. And then Cheerios got mega popular. They were Time Cereal of the Year in 1931. Now they got Frosted Cheerios. They got Chocolate Cheerios. Apple Cinnamon Cheerios. They got it all. Rice Krispies was like, maybe I was too harsh on you. That's where they came out with Cocoa Krispies, but they're too late to the game. They need more. In 2021, you can't just have vanilla chocolate. You need to go a step further. Like, where's the brown Rice Krispies? Where's the wild Rice Krispies? Uncle Ben's, Shrimp Scampi Rice Krispies? They need more. They're just not exciting. Not enjoyable. I don't respect them. I would rather eat Raisin Bran, quite frankly. Grocery store naan? I'm taking it down here to the awful category. I love naan. I have never had a grocery store naan that made me any less than regretful, okay? Mega Man. I love Mega Man as a character, as a series. As a character in Smash Bros. Never really liked playing as him. And beyond that, whenever you play a Mega Man online, just turn your Switch off. You might even just throw it in the dishwasher and put it on power cycle, because you're going to hate your life. When I play Mega Man, I'm like, boop, 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 I'm dead. When they play Mega Man, they're like, I have summoned a leaf shield, and now I'm using metal blades, and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. So for that, honestly, I hate to say it, I like Mega Man so much as a property, but in Smash, don't really like him. Execute is just 6 eggs. But it raises so many questions. Does the one egg always come broken? What happens if you pick up one of the eggs and throw it away? Does it get weaker? Does it still control the egg further away? This is a bad Pokemon. It doesn't make any sense at all. I'm starting to realize, I think these are mussels. I'm putting them, honestly, I'm looking for other seafoods I've placed. I think I gotta put it with crab. Again, I like mussels. I would never buy them at a grocery store. I do think you could just, lightly steam them, but I've never done it, so I consider it god-awful, I suppose. So I've never had them. But I have had Special K with strawberries, and I feel like this is one of the rare examples where adding fruit flavor to a cereal is worse. Like, the strawberries are basically made of paper in Special K with berries. It's like they took a strawberry and dehydrated it completely and then flattened it down to like the thickness of a single atom and then put it in the cereal. Like, I think if you have fresh cereal and or fresh fruit, I should say, and you slice it and you put it in a bowl of cornflakes, I bet it's delicious. The dried strawberries are like the worst of both worlds. Like, to me, this is again a C-tier cereal. Bottled water has got to be god-awful. Now, the exception is if you literally live in a place where the water is not drinkable, or I'll even say if it's unpalatable, okay? But if you buy this in Vancouver, people are going to look at you like you're committing a war crime. Little Mac, straight up, welcome to Mega Man tier. Again, I love Punch-Out, but Little Mac is like, I don't know what I'm doing with him. It's that perfect, the gulf between my skill as Little Mac and my opponent's skill is the reason he's in the D tier. If you play a Little Mac online, cancel Christmas, turn your Switch off. If you play a Little Mac in person, you're probably about to, 5-0 them. Lunchables, I'm going to level with you. These are god-awful. I know we're filling out this god-awful tier. Lunchables is 4 crackers, 4 slices of ham, 4 slices of cheese, a Capri Sun, and a little tiny Kit Kat bar. In Canada, they're $4.50 each, $5 each. It's the perfect intersection of not really that good, not a lot of food, expensive. If you're a child, whatever. If your parents are buying these for you, congrats. As an adult, I will not purchase a Lunchable. It's not for me, I guess is the easiest way to explain it. Actually, I like playing against Palutena a little bit more than Pit. I consider her a more respectable character, unlike Pac-Man, who is... again, can't play with them, can't play without them. There's a theme, by the way. All these weird kind of characters, I actually mostly like their games. Even Ice Climber, honestly, which we played a month ago. But I love Pac-Man. But in the context of Smash Bros, I just never have gotten this guy to work. And again, same thing. You play a Pac-Man online, 100% guarantee this man is going to drop a melon on your head, send you to the Shadow Realm, make you rethink your life choices. What is this? Is this even a Pokemon? Or is this it looks like a logo for a cult. You're god-awful. Bowser Jr. Troll. I will never respect Bowser Jr. again because of how overpowered Bowser Jr. was in Mario Tennis Aces. It haunts me to this day. Now, I will say, not all Koopas are created equal. This Koopa, created equal. This Koopa, created equal. This Koopa, hold on. I didn't even see you. There's so many freaking Koopas, dude, I didn't even realize. All right, here's the thing. This Koopa, Morden, it's Morden or Roy, I can't remember. He's a legend. He goes into the A tier. Ludwig von Koopa, the Koopa inspired by Beethoven, I'm at least going to elevate you to C tier just because of the hair. And I think I got to do the same for this little guy right here. But I don't want to clog up the whole tier list with Bowser Jr. alts, okay? This is just god-awful. Weeping Bell is just an absolute disaster. I hope whoever came up with this creature at Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, was reprimanded very harshly for this design. I think this might be the worst Pokemon. This might be the worst of all Pokemon, in my opinion. I'm not being insincere. Dark Samus. Look, I make a very simple sort of distinction. Okay? It's not difficult. Edgier versions, markedly edgier versions of base characters, heavily downvoted. Dark Samus is a D for me. This is perhaps a god-awful Pokemon, in my opinion. It's just purple nothing. And then the Alolan version gave it a beard. Big whoop. Muck, still god-awful. I'm going to move Alolan Muck into the good range. I respect Alolan Muck. I respect your position. And I respect you're wearing it proudly. So there's Hero. Hero. There's a lot of heroes in here. You guys all heroes? I think you're all heroes. So here's the thing. Hero, my wife loves Dragon Quest, but anytime you play against a hero online, it's time to bust out the magnifying glass. When they get the little menu opened up, bleep, 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 bleep. I didn't play the game for that. I play the game to, spike people with Donkey Kong. All of a sudden, you're hitting me with a 100-word essay. I don't respect it.